Back again, yo everyone, the Starlight Let's Player is here, and welcome to part 3 of 7 Pirates H. Now in the last part we were able to recruit the next two monster girls, that being Claret and Sakura, and now this time we're on our way to collect the second secret treasure. So yeah, basically I decided to go for some more booby training, seeing that from the last part we able to gain some more training extracts from some of these characters. Well, mainly Parut, but yeah. So, by the way, I did mention on Twitter a couple of days ago that I did play Neptunia Across Sinnoh and Kagura Ninja Wars. It's a fun game. I finished it. I think it's a pretty fun game. Kind of wish it had some DLC to it, but who knows? Maybe in the future they might. Though I highly doubt that. Anyways, we're gonna head straight back into the Forest of Purity, and we have a quest in order to go through before we can actually continue on with the story. So the thing about this is that in order to expand the world of Monster BC, you have to do certain quests in order to unlock certain parts of the map, that being torn maps. Basically, when you unlock those, you eventually unlock more of the world. You'll have a chance to travel these more of the dungeons, so-called dungeons. Well, some of them are dungeons, but not all of them are. Like the Forest of Purity, that's not much of a dungeon. That's more of an island. Though the next area we'll be going to, it is definitely a dungeon. But yeah, like I said before, it's very awkward seeing Parut's breasts whenever they get big, because I can also say the same for Waffle's breasts as well, because whenever they get bigger, whenever you make them bigger, they just stretch out into like this straight line, and it doesn't really look right to me. At least some of the other characters actually have proper breasts to look at. Sakura is my favorite character, and I think she has the best set of breasts. Second being Ringo, and she's the bustiest out of all of them. Though we'll see her once we get to the next few dungeons. So basically we have to, I'm just fighting off against monsters in order to level up a bit. But basically we have to defeat 3 tough Kinokos in order to complete this quest, so we can get to the next story. Like I said, some of these quests are part of the story, and you have to complete them. These are mandatory. However, 80% of them are optional. That's only if you're interested in collecting items or a large amount of money. And some of these quests, it goes on. Some of the bottom quests, they go for like the biggest rewards. That being from like more than 5,000 coins, or 5,000 gold, all the way up to like over 10,000. And I will say, not only this game, I did say that this game has like the easier way in order to level up your characters. But I can also say the same for the Neptunia Across Sinnoh and Kagura crossover. That game also has a better way of leveling up, because at least that game has an actual training mode. Unlike the other Neptunia games where you have to constantly grind. Though I will say in V2's case, the grinding isn't that bad. It's actually enjoyable in my opinion. Though, even though I think Neptunia Across Sinnoh and Kagura Ninja Wars is an amazing spin-off, even though I think it's an amazing Neptunia game, I still consider V2 my all-time favorite Neptunia game to play. That's not saying much considering the fact that I haven't played any of the other Neptunia games, mainly due to them being on Steam and the PS Vita. Because I got the main trilogy on my PS3, which you've already saw in part 1 of the anime review, which might actually come up this late June, but yeah. And also I have 3 of the 5 Neptunia games that is on the PS4. I have V2, I have Cyber Dimension Neptunia Void Goddesses Online, and I have Ninja Wars. The only 2 that I'm missing to get is one of them that's being Super Neptunia RPG, which I've heard that not many people actually like that one. But in the off chance that I do get the game, I'll give my own conclusion to that. But the next game that I'm mostly interested in getting is Neptunia Virtual Stars. The game that centers on VTubers. So yeah. But anyways, I managed to complete the quest, and now I have the gold. I was able to complete that one. Oh yeah, I forgot. There are some with the exclamation marks, but they aren't really that required in order to so I will say some of these with the exclamation marks can unlock certain events. Oh my god, Claret, what is you doing? And there she goes, angering the Booby King. I forgot to mention, speaking of this game, some people were actually able to find the last 2 images. Yeah, apparently it was pretty difficult for people who played this game to find the last 2 images, because when you there was never indication that this game was going to have multiple endings, or in this case only 2 endings, that being the true ending, that being like one the normal ending and the secret ending, which I haven't even unlocked myself yet. So I'm doing my research to see what can I do in order to get to that secret ending. And when though I'm sure I can figure it out in time. Poor Jewel had to put up with Claret's bullshit. Wow. Oh my god. Jewel, are you really that gullible to believe what Claret is saying? Like, even if that's true, that's still her mess. She should be the one cleaning up behind herself, not you. You are the owner of this ship. Oh my god. And then there's Best Girl. I can only hope these thumbnails that I make. I can only hope YouTube can finally get off my ass for these thumbnails. And why would you do that, Claret?
緒でクラレットさんも悪いですね。よかった。同じモンムスがいて。さくらとクラレットが一緒なんてことないぞ。クラレットは私の船
Jewel is right about that.
妨害してたぞ。
At least with Sakura, she only got caught in the net, fought them, lost, and was starving.
海に落としちゃうかもしれないかな。
But at least Otan came in and actually helped out Sakura.
悪魔のようなやつってことはやっぱり私と一緒だわ。ワッフルさんも悪魔のようなことを。僕は欲しいものがあって宝探しをしていたんだけど全然見つからなくてね。ご主人が宝探ししてるって言うから一緒についていくことにしたの。
But you are a monster girl.
ないよ。ワッフルが宝探ししてるなんて私は初めて聞いたぞ。言ってくれれば私が探したのに。宝の情報を言うわけないでしょ。どうせジュエルには見つけられない。
Oh damn.
私は負けちゃったからなんだけど、久しぶりにどこかに行くのもいいかなって。秘宝探すってのも面白いかなって。
So Paru is basically the Luffy of the team. Only difference is she's way smarter than Luffy. And she's not as strong as Luffy. And by lend her your ship, you mean her kicking your ass and was forced to give her the ship. Damn, even Waffle's touching down on that. You know, and honestly, seeing cutscenes like these, I do kind of wish that Compa and IF, they would go back to the whole 2D cutscenes like they did with Mark II. I think Mark II's cutscenes, they were very different, and they were very good to see. And the only reason why people would call those 3 games bad, like bad looking, was because of how they. One of the reasons why they would consider these games bad was because of how they look. Though they gotta understand that the first 3 games came out over a decade ago. Like Neptunia 1 and Mark II, those 2 came out over a decade ago. And Victory just came out also a decade ago. So, at that time, they were pretty good, and in my opinion, I think they aged pretty well, which is why I defended those games back in part 1 of my Neptunia anime review. But I'm just gonna stock up a bit more on the potions. Guess they can restore health. And also gonna buy some panties as well. That did not sound right, but yeah, you can actually, yeah, like I said in part 2, you can buy panties in order to equip on your characters. So I decided to give those panties to Sakura. Even though they don't really change her look or anything like that, she still wears the same outfit, which is extremely revealing.
そんな便利なものがあるなら秘宝も見つかるのかな。便利なんだけど方角ぐらいしかわからないから、クラレットちゃんがいると心強いよ。なんかいい情報教えてよ。そうだね、この辺は海賊が出るから海を移動するときは気をつけた方がいいかな。海賊って
By the way, I also forgot to mention,
全部沈めちゃったり。
there is actually some extra content you can actually go through, before or after the final boss.
分けてもらえないからね。他の海賊？クラレットちゃんも加わったし。
Though I will tell you, I'll probably tell you once we get to the, I'll probably tell you once I make a an extra video on this, game.
私が奪った宝がこの辺の海に沈めてあるよ。私じゃ持ち歩けないから沈めてたんだけど、どこにあったかな。見つけたらパルフェちゃんのものだよ。あ、いいの？それなら探してみようっと。あ、でもジュエルちゃんには内緒だよ。
Alright, so Paru and Claire planning to get some more That's Jules' treasure. Oh shit. Though I will say some items you equip, they don't really do much. You can only sell those items for a high price. Which is why I thought, when I saw Jules' treasure, I really thought that was just panties, but I did not see the actual panty symbol.
私がおとなしく従ったと思ってるなんて甘い子たちばかりだわ。今は従ったふりをして船に乗り込み、
So now what are you gonna do? You're gonna take their ship to make all aboard my captives?
私の虜としてしまえば、あとは好きなだけ寝て食べて過ごすだけだわ。なんて私は悪いのかしら。
Yeah, sure you're bad.
そろそろ見張りをしないと。これも信用を得るためだから、今はちゃんと働いているふりをしないと。高いところは日差しが強く、潮風も冷たいからお肌に悪いのよね。ま、寝ててもバレないし、これでご飯ももらえるから。
Now I'm wondering if Haru would ever find out about this. Who knows what she would probably do to Sakura. But I digress. Anyway, it's time to go to the cave to the palace. So there are certain monsters that can actually hit you with a certain status, either poison or poison, paralysis, or just become sick. If you get poisoned, then for each turn you lose a bit of health. For paralysis, if you get hit with a paralysis, then you'll eventually lose a turn. One of your characters will lose a turn. Though getting sick doesn't really do that much. However, as long as you have the right items with you and the right skills, you can actually counter these. You can actually counter these elements. And yes, she is definitely the sexiest. No shit, she's trying to carry 4 girls. Damn, Sakura. I mean, she's not lying there. And yes, carrying Oton, very easy. And can we all just take a moment to appreciate this this affection that Sakura is giving Oton? Jesus Christ. I know he has a fetish for boobs, but I didn't think he would be that much of a masochist for boobs.
さきらの柔らかさが弾力が締め付けだ。俺の力を目覚めさせるんだぜ。変態オットナイト。今の俺ならどんな荒波も平気だぜ。さあ全員乗って俺をしっかり掴んで離さないようしがみつくんだぜ。
おっとんちゃんすごい。私が見込んだモンムスだけあるわ。予定とは違うけどなんか渡れそうでよかった。やっぱり仲間って大切。
Because Sakura pretty much made Otan horny with her breasts, it awakened this mode of his which gives him the ability to act as a boat. So basically, he can actually carry one of the girls, depending on which character you use. So I swapped to Sakura, and yeah, because she's best girl and all that. And the cool thing about it is that every time she attacks, some of her health actually comes back. So essentially, she can fight while getting healed herself. Now that I find amazing. So I'm fighting a bit of monsters in order to trying to level up a bit of my characters. Though it's not much of a level up, it's just like upgrade, more like upgrading. You know, Senran Kagura definitely had his fair share of more so of booby content, but the thing is, it was never really the main focus. It was pretty much one of the main things to actually appeal to the fans, myself included. Because as I said before, I am a titty connoisseur. I did make a video based on top 10 best boobs in anime. Hell, I might actually do a top 10 best boobs in video games. But yeah, like I said, Otan can actually turn into a boat, and you can actually use him to kill you through water. Not just water, but you can also use him to actually climb up on walls, which I find very unique. I had to use the map because I couldn't remember which way in order to go. But I'm certain I'm going the right way. Oh, and be sure to open these treasure chests. Got the second torn map. Yeah, be sure to open some of these chests because you never know what they might have. What kind of collectibles and goodies they have. But seriously though, just look at how they're writing Otan. That just reminded me of that one scene in the new anime Love After World Domination, where Destiny was desperately trying to hide Fudo, and she ends up sitting on his face trying to hide him, from her colleagues. And I gotta say, Fudo was quite lucky to experience being sat on by his own girlfriend. But yeah, I admire the increase of extracts that you get each time you whenever you fight some of the more tougher monsters. Although, even when you get to the last few stages, they don't feel all that tough. They don't feel all that tough, but they do get a large amount of H extracts, especially the boss fights. See, Sakura got hit with poison and she ended up losing a bit of health. But as we actually level up, as we increase her stats, she would eventually gain a skill that can automatically restore her some of her health whenever she attacks. And this is a mistake I made here. I managed to get Jewel at 200%. I managed to get her aroused, but that's where I fucked up. I immediately got her aroused before the actual boss fight. So I ended up losing all of that. I ended up losing all of those MP points. See, look at that. As you saw there, she's at 0. So yeah, I had to I really gotta time when I can actually build these up, because that's not a bad thing, building these up before a boss fight. It'll give you enough. It will give you actually enough more of a chance in order to use your ultimate skills right away. Because some of these fights can get tough. It can get tough, but it's not that big of a deal. And I just forgot to mention, these are actually alternate alternate swimsuits that all of the characters you unlock can actually wear. This was also part of the DLC. So I do admire that. Although I do wish the 4 Heavenly Kings, well, yeah, spoilers, there's actually 4 Heavenly Kings. I do wish that they were also playable. You'll see once we go through this whole game. There's the view mode that you can actually use to view these characters. You can even press the A button for them to jump. My God, the moaning they makes whenever the breasts are getting enhanced. Though it's gonna be more lewdness once we get to the egg breaking. Once the fact that we actually collect eggs, which you can actually break with their breasts, but we'll get to that when we get to that. With that being said, let's get on to the next fight, and this is actually one of the first of the new. I'm not gonna spoil it that much, but I say there are 4 Heavenly Kings, but I'm not gonna spoil too much of that. That's not a chest. That's not a chest. Damn. God damn, Claret. You didn't have to do it like that. Oh yeah, that's the treasure, but it's not the treasure you're actually looking at. Is she? I mean, yeah, it's just a lock, so I doubt it'll do much.
私に任せとけ。宝箱を壊して鍵なんて意味ないってとこを見せてやるぞ。やめてやめて。
Oh shit.
それだと壊れた時に水浸しに
Jesus, Claret, why you gotta be this harsh?
投げて壊した方がいいと思う。ダメダメ死んじゃう。そっちのが壊した後に探すの大変だし、開けずに料理するってても。さきらちゃんは
Oh, that is the last thing you want her to do.
宝箱なんて食べれるのかしら。食べたとして外はパリッと歯ごたえがあり、中はふんわりと。
She is quite the glutton.
あれ食べたことないけど、もしかして
I don't know what is it with me and some of these amazing women who ends up being gluttons.
どうかわからないんだが、これは無理な
Like I did mention in V2 that Sisha's my favorite of the gold third, and she's a glutton, yet she's got the body of a model. Then you have Sakura, she's thick as hell, and she's a glutton as well.
そうだね。そこの宝箱。
But I digress. Anyways, this is Mimi, and she's the mimic monster girl.
バレてしまっては仕方がない耳。
She's just disguised as a treasure chest, and she has Simon Cargo like boobs.
見破るなんてあんたたちが初めて耳。ミミックのモンムスか。いかにもすごいお宝を持ってそう。悪いけど奪わせてもらうよ。名前はミミなんだ。わかりづらいね。ほっといてほしい耳。宝を持っていないミミックなんてただの。
Yeah, you're lying there. You are lying there, Toots. Oh, we're just straight up going into the boss fight.
敵が来たわ。
So yeah, we face off against Mimi, and she uses a key in order to fight.
体がうずくわ。それ。待ってました。痛いよ。
So I got Waffle aroused, and I'm close to actually getting Parut and Sakura aroused as well.
遠慮はいらないぞ。はーい。私の番耳。
But yeah, that's one of her attacks, the Key Hammer. She can also use Explosion too on all the characters.
楽しいね。ワッホー。
And I still think this is one of her best moves.
贈り物。
She just throws a giant rock right at her opponent, and then just swoops down with her legs spread and just smashes the rock. Waffle is a force to be reckoned with.
体がうずくわ。
And there's her attack, Explosion.
黙っても許さない耳。
Seriously, I cannot get over her voice. It's just too adorable.
壊れちゃったらごめんね。頑張るぞ。遠慮はいらないぞ。
So I immediately gave a love potion to Parut. Love potions can basically increase their MP points, and like I said, the more MP points they get, the more aroused they get.
これが私の。はーたー伝説だよ。
So I used the Falcon Dive, and I'm going to use the Sweet Tooth on Mimi as well.
最高の一撃よ。
Yeah, I'm still calling this the best move
あら。
out of all the ultimate moves that each of the characters have. Just straight up drops a giant cake on top of her and straight up devours it. And that expression she had, like, that was, my god.
楽しいね。
You cannot tell me that is a mixture of adorableness and sexiness as well. And then there's her other, well, that's not much of an attack, it's more of a skill, enter shell, and increase her defensive capabilities. So I'm using the Flame Smash, gonna do some bit of damage. I'm gonna attack, and
いじめちゃおうっと。頑張るぞ。
yeah, that's the stupidest thing. Jewel doesn't have an attack that's worth 35 MP points. Instead, she only has two. One being worth 50 MP points, and you have to, in order to use that move, you have to make sure she's at half. She's only half aroused, so you have to get her MP points to 100. Actually, you have to get her all the characters at half. At half. I can't speak. You have to get them all at half aroused in order to use their skills that are worth 50 MP points. But yeah, that was the boss fight against Mimi. I unlocked the Boobykin Pirate. And I got some training extracts for Powdered Waffle, Jewel, all 5 of them. Yep, we all knew she was lying. We all knew she was lying. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Who all remembers that? Who all remembers that song? Oh man, that was years ago. Poor Mimi. See, okay, that's some good advice from Jewel. Thank you. Claret. Yeah, that is. This is why nobody likes you, Claret. You're too damn mean. Oh no. The abuse on Jewel though, god damn. Yeah, that would have been cool to have her. It would have been cool to have her as a DLC character. Alright, so we found the location to the next treasure, which is the 3rd treasure. Though it's never cleared on what the actual treasures look like. Well, but I digress. We unlocked the 2nd treasure. We got 5 more to go, and we just unlocked a new area. And we just got some new quests. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Stick around for part 4 as we go on to find the next treasure. But until then, this is the Starlight Let's Player signing out. As always, Goku Genyo, and have a star-tastic day, everyone. I knew I would fulfill my dream, yeah. They knew I started from the bottom, now I made it, yeah. The possibilities are endless, yeah, I say, yeah. I got the rules and I got everything I need, yeah. And now I'm chilling with a pretty gentle lady, yeah. She got a kinda gentle personality, yeah. She got them curvy hips and a booty for booty, yeah.